Okay, so syllabus says division of polynomials of low degree. So what's the degree of the top? 1. Degree of the bottom? 1. Okay, first of all, what does the bottom tell us? If I used a pen and wrote, maybe it'd make it more obvious.
That x cannot equal 3.
X minus 3 cannot equal 0, so of course x cannot equal 3. So if I do it this way, take my time, I put in, you already know this stuff, okay? Give me a second to get stuff going. X equaling 3, there's your asymptote, your vertical asymptote comes from the denominator. What comes from the numerator?
The values, I guess?
So
Horizontal asymptote?
x plus 2,
Oh, yes, yeah, horizontal.
if that equals 0, we get x equals minus 2. And there it is. So, go back to your normal factorisation now. If we were factorising x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0, and you've got your x plus 2 and your x plus 3. The opposite of those tells us the
x-intercept.
X-intercepts the roots. So the top is about the roots or the x-intercepts.
Yeah.
And by the way, we did get what shape overall? A hyperbola. So the opposite of that gives us the roots, and the opposite of that gives us the
Asymptotes.
I'm going to say the vertical here. Vertical asymptotes. So how do we get the horizontal asymptote? What's the coefficient of the top one? The leading coefficient of the top one.
1.
What's the leading coefficient of the bottom one?
1.
What's 1 divided by 1?
1.
So I got y equals 1.
Yeah. I had that written in my book a while ago. I thought it was nonsense.
You see, isn't it? What you know and what you don't know. Of course, I've got to talk about the common sense about this. We put in like 100 there, or 1,000 there, we'd end up with 102 on 97, which is approaching 1. And it's approaching 1 from the positive. So we're coming down here, we're approaching 1 from the positive. And if we go to minus 100, we're approaching it from the negative. We can nag about that for ages, but don't want to nag about that for ages. So what happens the moment I put a 2 in there?
Your horizontal asymptote come to.
Got it. Let's just put a 2 on the top. And change that to y equals 2. Of course we can zoom in and out, we can go function F11 and hit the wrong button, function F11. And I can zoom out and do all sorts of things to make it really obvious. There's your asymptotes. Did you know all of that?
No.
Good. Because every now and then I presume, you already know this, and I go, no you don't. And then get rid of that circle in a second. So what happens if I made it 3? The leading coefficient of the numerator was 3, and the leading coefficient of the denominator is 1. 3 over 1 is 3. There it is there. What if I change the bottom to, let's make the bottom 4 to make it more obvious. Now, by the way, see all the sliders? I can put sliders in. I was mucking around with this, I did it with sliders, I did it without sliders, and kept on thinking through explaining this to people, you guys in particular, and I went, once I put the sliders in, it wasn't quite as obviously clear until I got the concept really well in my head. I thought you would get the concept in your head. So then if we had that as 3/4, and then I go, let's make that 3/4, and now if I zoom in, make it a bit more obvious. So it keeps it fine. Then the big one. Of course, everyone's okay if I make it a negative. What does it do to it? But what did it do to the... So it didn't change the vertical asymptote, but it changed the... So that becomes minus 3/4. Makes sense to your brain?
Yeah.
So you can go through, like old school for me, school so long ago, go through and put values in and fritz around and blah 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 and keep getting stuff. Yeah? So that's with a monic polynomial on the top and a monic polynomial on the bottom. In other words, a straight line on the top divided by a straight line.